This weekend, with almost no advance notice, the legendary DJ Kasem, a giant in the music world, counted down the hits one last time, pulling the plug on a weekly ritual for millions of listeners.
We began the weekend of July 4th, 1970, and after 39 years, this will be our final countdown.
The news came as a shock to Kasem's fans. Kasem, who's 77, was the last of the big-time DJs, a legacy that includes Alan Freed and Wolfman Jack, personalities who brought music to Americans when radio was king.
I would hear Kasem, and I would see Dick Clark, and I would see Merv Griffin. And I really felt like these guys were a part of my family.
Kasem handed over the mic of his signature show, America's Top 40, to Ryan Seacrest 5 years ago.
It's number 14 this week with pictures of you on American Top 40.
Kasem really pioneered the countdown format on radio, and those dedications, thousands of them through the years.
A long-distance dedication from Patty to Roger.
He also gave life to cartoon characters. Most famously, he was the voice of Scooby-Doo's sidekick, Shaggy.
Here it comes! An aerial attack!
The music business has changed, and Kasem's wife says it's time to move on.
The stations are changing, the networks are changing, radio itself is changing.
Almost no one knew until this weekend, and Kasem has declined interview requests.
He's never been big on goodbyes or hellos. He lets his work speak for himself.
Kasem's first #1 was Mama Told Me Not to Come by Three Dog Night in 1970. His last, Second Chance by Shinedown.
Sometimes goodbye is a second chance.
The music may have changed, but Kasem has not.
I'm Kasem. Now, one more time, the words I've ended my show with since 1970. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
It's worth noting that Kasem is not going to completely disappear from the airwaves. Some stations are carrying repeats of his top 40 shows from the 70s and 80s. And that's going to do it for World News on this Sunday. I'm Dan Harris. For all of us here at ABC News, thank you for watching and have a great night.
We eat things we know we shouldn't, but how unhealthy is it?
Your heart is working twice as hard now.
An extraordinary look inside the body after just one meal out.
And is that because those arteries are so much smaller?
Yes, it's narrow arteries.
Monday on World News with Charles Gibson.